Hi, and welcome to Grails to Astonish. I am just back from the ECCC, the Emerald City Comic-Con, where I made a few acquisitions that I'm really excited about, and I am going to bring them out and talk about them here. They're in this case. I bring this case to Comic-Con. It's got a little handle. I walk around the floor with this, protects the comics, and makes me look really, really cool. And it's very important when you're at a comic convention to look your best. So I am going to open it up and show you what I got. Here we go. Oh yeah, that's right. This is how good the books are. Just kidding. I put this in here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to open this up. First thing I got in here is Marvel Tales #1. Now this is actually the first Marvel reprint. It's a reprint of all the origin stories of all the major characters. Got Spider-Man, Hulk, Giant Man the Wasp, Thor, Iron Man, Sergeant Fury, all in one square-bound volume. It is a reprint. It's not a big deal comic, but it is pretty cool to have them all here. And it's from 1964. They decided to put one book out that had all the stories to get everybody up to speed on the characters. And you can get this for very little. I picked it up for $65. I saw it at other dealers' booths for $150, $175. I saw one for $200. I found this one, which looked just as good. I would call it a mid-grade 4.0, 4.5 for $65. I'm not planning on having it graded. This is actually one to open up and read. You're not going to open up Spider-Man #1 to read. Some people would. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not going to open up Hulk 1 worth $30,000 and flip through it. But I would open the Hulk 1 story that's in this book from 1964 and flip through it. And you have the paper and you have that sort of tactile experience of reading a book from that era without the risk. I will open it up and put some of the pages in close up for you to see while I flip through it. But yeah, I mean, this is the first Iron Man story, first Giant Man, and then the really good stuff. Looks like toward the beginning we got, here's the first Hulk story. And first Spider-Man story from Amazing Fantasy 15. Just flipping through the pages. This is not from, I think it was 1962 when it was first published, but it's pretty close. It's from 1964. You can also get the Golden Records reprints of Amazing Spider-Man #1 and Fantastic Four 1 and Journey into Mystery 83. Those Golden Records reprints, which look almost exactly like the originals. They are a lot these days. They cost a lot more than this Marvel Tales, and I wouldn't even flip through one of them. You're looking at like $1,000 for a decent copy of the Golden Records reprint of Avengers 4, Spider-Man 1, Fantastic Four 1. These Marvel Tales are still pretty low. The fair market value for this one, in the grade it's in, I think is about $250. But I don't know that there's really much of a market for buying it at that price. Like I said, I got this for $65. Get this backing board back in. I did this the wrong way. The dealer I bought this from was kind of old-fashioned in the way he taped up the books. There's just regular plain old masking tape on this, which means I'm running the high risk of getting it stuck to the cover and then damaging the cover, which I have done before, and I don't want to do it to this. Okay. Whew! Back in the back. All right, moving on. Next thing I got, I'm going to save this for last. There was a dealer at the show who had these books. I did not go in intending to buy this. It's not really been on my list, but I couldn't resist. He sold me Avengers 2 and 3. Wait, how's this looking to you? Avengers 2 and 3. Both of these have the Hulk in it before he left, or when he was in the process of leaving the Avengers. And these are pretty awesome books, and he had them at a great price. He had them raw, and he gave me a deal on both of them. I paid $1,000 for the two of these. Now, this one is probably a 3 or a 3.5, maybe. I'll show it in close-up. So you can tell me the grade you'd give it in the comments. Some minor tears and creases up top, a bit of tanning down the right side, plenty of spine ticks, and creases in both bottom corners. The back cover is an ad for this guy's hypnosis course. I mailed him my $1.98 and I learned how to do this. This comic is in perfect condition. You will give it a 9.9. But this one, the dealer had a story. He had a story for me that seems a little fishy. He said that he bought this slabbed at 8.0, graded by CGC, and he cracked it himself because he has a raw collection and he wanted to put it in his raw collection. And then after he cracked it, he realized he's already got a copy of Avengers 2 in higher grade than this, and he decided he wanted to keep that other one, so he's selling this one, which he himself cracked. That is very weird, slightly implausible, and I'm not really sure that CGC would ever give this copy an 8.0. I looked it over outside of the packaging. I'm not going to do that right now. It's got some foxing on the back. It's really nice. It's got nice bright colors, which makes it really good to put on the wall. It's a really good presentation copy. I just don't know that I don't think it would get past CGC at high grade. Forget everything you just heard. The book is exquisite. You will type in the comments, Avengers #2, near mint, plus. In any case, I got these for two reasons. One is because it completes my run of Avengers 1, 2, 3, and 4. First 4 issues of Avengers all together. I had never had any aspiration to have a complete run of the first 4 issues of Avengers, but I saw it at a good price and I couldn't pass it up. The other reason I got it, I will get into in just a second, but first I'm going to show you the last thing I got at the con. I picked up from another dealer named Jordan in Texas, Fantastic Four #12. This is a comic I have had on my list. I have always wanted this. I have bid on this so many times at auction. It has always slipped away. It's always gone for a higher price than I was willing to pay. And I finally just decided that I would pick up a low-grade copy that I could find anywhere. And I've even been bidding on low-grade copies for a while and not getting them. This is a pretty high-demand book. And this copy, while it's probably like a 2.0 or a 2.5, I don't know, I gotta give it a good look. Maybe it's higher than that. I think the dealer thought it was a 2.0 or 2.5, and he's probably right. The dealer is a madman. Listen only to my voice. That comic book is entirely without flaw, and you feel an uncontrollable compulsion to like and subscribe. But he gave it to me for $375. The fair market value is a fair bit higher, and I don't really care that much about it. I just really like this book. It's one of my favorite covers. This is the very first time a character in the Marvel Universe crossed over into another book. This is the first meetup of two different sets of characters, the Fantastic Four and the Hulk. Now you could say that Fantastic Four 5, maybe technically, depending on how you look at it, is the first Marvel crossover because Johnny Storm was reading a copy of Hulk #1 in that issue. But this is the first time the characters met, and of course it did not go well for any of them. They did not hit it off. But that ended up being a really big selling point for Marvel in the 60s and still today. The universe of characters blending together. Obviously the MCU is a big part of what made these books so interesting. Now, Hulk was in the process of having his series canceled when this came out. Hulk 6 was about to hit shelves. It was not a hit. It was not selling well. But Stan and maybe Jack decided to give the character another try, and that was a stroke of genius. And that's what I want to talk about. That's really why I ended up buying these books, because these 3 issues are 3 of the 8 stories that Hulk appeared in what I would call his time in the desert. After his series had canceled, or in the case of this book, just as his series was being canceled, and before he found his way to Tales to Astonish. The character is not really a superhero. He doesn't change into costumes. He doesn't really fight crime. He's not like most of the other characters. He's more like what Marvel was doing before Fantastic Four #1. He's more in the vein of their horror and science fiction stories. He's a tragic figure. And they were doing this whole superhero thing, and that's what kids wanted. They were upbeat stories, and Hulk is downbeat. So 6 issues in, they decided this is not working, but they didn't give up on it. they discovered what I think is very, very true, that the Hulk works better as sort of a chaos agent in other stories. You need to put him in an ensemble to really be interesting. He's an unstoppable force. He's the strongest one there is, and it's hard to write a story about the strongest one there is, but it's a lot easier to write a story about a bunch of other characters dealing with the strongest one there is. And after they did that a few times, the Hulk started gaining in popularity. The character eventually did become enormously popular. He became, for a time in the 70s when the series was on the air, the most popular Marvel character. So that turnaround, which started here with Fantastic Four number 12, is kind of an interesting saga. And that is what I got at ECC. I had a really good time. It's a great con. It seems to be dying, and when you talk to the dealers, they will always tell you this is the last one they're coming to, and I think they mean it this year. I think the con will go on, but as a place to buy these high-grade, rare, collectible comics, it doesn't seem to be working for them. It's a very difficult business model. I sympathize with their plight. In any case, as long as the dealers are still there, I will keep on going to the cons. I have a really good time, and maybe I will see you there or at another con. Word of advice, if you're a buyer going to these cons, maybe even if you're a dealer, it's very cool to have one of these cases. They don't cost anything, but they look very, very important and impressive. It's fun to walk around with, briefcase. What I haven't done yet is gotten the handcuff that attaches to my arm. That's when you really know, oh, this guy's serious. It's probably a bad idea. I feel like if I have a handcuff on my arm, I'm just really inviting someone to get a hacksaw and cut my arm off to get whatever's in this box. So I'll probably just not go any further than this. All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. More to come.
When I snap my fingers, you will be released from your trance, remembering only to smash that subscribe button.